Is it really possible to get a full-size SUV with hybrid tech, loads of space, and modern features, all for less than the price of a basic hatchback? The 2025 Dacia Bigster is trying to pull it off, offering more boot space than most of its rivals, a new hybrid setup, and even a few clever tricks that you'd never expect from a budget brand. But with the size comes the question, is this just a bigger Duster in disguise? Or has Dacia actually built something better? Well, let's dive right into it. What exactly is the Bigster? Let's get this out of the way. The name Bigster sounds more like a cartoon character than a car, but behind that awkward badge is something surprisingly serious. This is Dacia's biggest leap yet. A full-sized SUV that wants to shake things up without shaking your bank account. It's the largest model they've ever built, a proper C-segment SUV that sits right at the top of Dacia's lineup. And while it's technically the fanciest and priciest Dacia so far, that's all relative. The starting price? Just under £25,000. Even the range-topping hybrid version stays under £30,000. In today's market, where everything feels overpriced, that kind of value is hard to ignore. Now, don't expect luxury. It's still a Dacia, after all, but this one brings a little more polish, without losing that rugged, no-nonsense vibe the brand is known for. Underneath, it shares the same platform as the Duster and Jogger, so the bones are familiar. But the Bigster brings a bigger boot, more road presence, and a more confident attitude. It slots right into the fight with SUVs like the Nissan Qashqai, Skoda Karoq, Hyundai Tucson, and Ford Kuga. But it does it the Dacia way. No flash, no fluff, just honest value and space to spare. So, what does it actually look like? The look. Take one quick glance and you'll probably say, is that just a bigger Duster? And honestly, yeah, kind of. The Bigster looks like someone took a Duster to a photocopier and hit the 150% zoom button. It's got that same tough, slightly rugged vibe, boxy angles, sharp lines, and a solid stance that says, I'm not here to mess around. But now it's longer at the back, taller overall, and chunkier down low, which gives it a more planted, grown-up presence. Still, the width stays the same, so it's no harder to drive or park than its smaller sibling. That's a win. All the signature Dacia details are still here. The speckled black starkle, plastic on the bumpers, wheel arches and skirts, made from recycled materials by the way. Those quirky rear door handles are tucked high into the C-pillars, just like on the Duster. The bonnet's got bold humps, the grille is pure Dacia DNA, and that funky double-pointed spoiler tops off the rear hatch with a little flare. Basically, it keeps everything people already like about Dacia's design, just scaled up and made to look a bit more serious. It's not trying to reinvent anything, it's just turning up the volume. Alright, time to lift the lid on what powers the Bigster. And there's more going on here than you might expect from a Dacia. Specs. You've got two main options, a mild hybrid petrol or a full hybrid. And between the two, the full hybrid's the real showstopper, not just for Dacia, but for Renault Group as a whole. This is new territory. For years, Dacia was known for getting Renault's old hand-me-down engines. Not anymore. This time they're getting fresh tech right out the gate. The full hybrid pairs two electric motors with a brand new 1.8-litre petrol engine that kicks out 153 horsepower. That's enough for a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 9.5 seconds. Pretty nippy for something this size. Even better, it's super efficient. Dacia claims over 60 miles per gallon, though in real-world mixed driving, mountain roads, motorways, city traffic, testers averaged around 49. Not bad at all. CO2 emissions sit at just 105 grams per kilometer, and all of that power is pushed through the front wheels via a clever 6-speed automatic gearbox that blends 4 petrol gears with 2 electric ones. Smooth stuff. Prefer something simpler? There's a 1.2-litre mild hybrid turbo petrol with 138 horsepower. Front-wheel drive only, 0 to 62 in 9.8 seconds, and a claimed 51 miles per gallon. It's the budget-friendly option, but still very usable day to day. Need extra grip? There's a four-wheel drive version with 128 horsepower, but it's slower, thirstier, and unless you're really planning to get muddy, the front-wheel drive just makes more sense. So whether you want efficiency, a bit of poke, or just something that gets the job done, the Bigster's got options. And that's not something people used to say about a Dacia. But here's something that might surprise you. Interior style, infotainment, and accessories. The Bigster doesn't throw you into touchscreen chaos the moment you sit down. And that's actually a relief. There's something comforting about seeing real buttons again. Proper climate controls right below the screen, familiar steering wheel buttons, and even Dacia's classic stereo stalk still attached to the column. It's like bumping into an old friend who still remembers how to be useful. One detail that really stands out: a little panel tucked to the driver's side with a button that lets you instantly switch off those overprotective safety features. No need to scroll through menus just to stop the car from panicking every time you change lanes without indicating like you're on a racetrack. It's the kind of practical touch that shows someone was actually thinking about real-life driving, not just lab testing. And for those who do enjoy a bit of tech, no worries. The Bigster's got a clean 10.1-inch touchscreen that's easy to live with. The layout's simple, the icons are obvious, and you've got shortcuts right on the side to jump between features without feeling lost. It's not flashy, but it works, and sometimes that's all that matters. Now, it doesn't come with built-in Google Maps like Renault's fancier models, which is a bit of a letdown. But thanks to wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, your phone pretty much takes over. One quick connection, and you're running your own maps, playlists, and podcasts, all without a cable in sight. Now here's something you probably wouldn't expect from a Dacia: a digital driver display. Yep, it's in there. It might not be Tesla level tech, but it still gives off a bit of that I've got my life together energy behind the wheel. Lower trims like the Expression get a simple 7-inch setup, while higher spec Journey and Extreme models level up with a sharper 10-inch screen. And credit where it's due, the graphics, genuinely cool. Clean layout, modern feel, and it fits perfectly with the Bigster's rugged, no-nonsense vibe. Whoever designed it definitely understood the assignment. Then there's something a bit quirky but super handy: the Dacia U-clip system. Scattered around the cabin are these little square mounting points, and you can attach all sorts of clip-on accessories. Phone holders, cup holders, lights, bag hooks. It's like plug and play for car storage. You can even 3D print your own if you're feeling crafty. It's a clever idea that makes the cabin feel more personal and flexible, especially if you're always on the go. But not everything's a win. While the design feels thoughtful, the materials definitely remind you that this isn't a premium car. Most of the surfaces are hard and scratchy, and that strip running across the dash feels a bit like something you'd find fresh off a budget 3D printer. It doesn't ruin the vibe, but it's one of those reminders that the Bigster's value had to come from somewhere. Still, if you're more about function than fancy finishes, this interior's got a lot going for it. Smart features, usable space, and a few nice surprises along the way. Now, let's be real. With a name like Bigster, it would have been pretty embarrassing if it wasn't spacious. Luckily, this thing delivers. Space and practicality, it's called Bigster for a reason. Space is one of its strongest cards, and whether you're behind the wheel or riding shotgun, it feels roomy without being oversized or awkward. Up front, the seats are wide, flat, and super comfy for long journeys. They're not exactly hugging you in the corners. So if you're planning a track day, maybe look elsewhere. But for everyday cruising, they're spot on. And here's a neat upgrade. Top trims come with part electric seat adjustment. That's a first for Dacia. Small touch, but a big step forward. Getting your driving position just right is easy too. The steering wheel adjusts plenty, the mirrors give great visibility, and overall, it's pretty welcoming to drivers of all shapes and sizes. Storage, pretty decent. The door bins are large enough for those massive water bottles we all swear we'll drink more from. There's a spot for your phone, and on higher trims, that doubles as a wireless charging pad. Under the center console is a sliding rubber cover that hides 2 cup holders. But if you don't drink coffee on the go, just pull out the insert and voila. Instant catch-all bin for whatever clutter you carry around. Only downside? A little more space for the smaller essentials would have been nice. There's not really a smart spot to drop your car key or toss coins, lip balm, or the random stuff we all end up carrying. Minor gripe, but one you'll probably notice the first time you're fumbling around at a red light. Step into the back of the Bigster and it's instantly clear. This thing was built with real people in mind. The rear seats? Genuinely spacious, especially for a car at this price point. A 6-footer can sit behind another 6-footer and still have room to stretch. Even the space under the front seats has been thought out. There's just enough clearance to tuck your feet in comfortably, which makes long rides a whole lot easier. Headroom? No worries there either. Even in models with the panoramic sunroof, there's still plenty of vertical space. Dacia didn't just throw in a glass roof and forget the rest of the design. It actually works. Now let's talk middle seat. Usually that spot gets the short end of the stick, but in the Bigster, the center passenger doesn't sit awkwardly higher than everyone else. The floor does have a slight hump, and the center console pokes back a bit, but it's nothing dramatic. Still manageable for short rides. If you're only carrying 2 in the back, the middle seat folds down into an armrest. Sounds nice in theory, but it's a bit chunky. Too wide to feel natural. And the hard plastic back isn't exactly elbow friendly. It does make up for it slightly with built-in cup holders and a little slot to hold a smartphone, so at least it's practical. Parents, take note. ISOFIX mounts are ready to go in both outer seats, and there's loads of room for rear-facing child seats. No squeezing or awkward wrestling matches. The doors open nice and wide too, which makes life easier when loading kids, car seats, or even just wrangling shopping bags. Boot space and reliability. Now, if there's one area where the Bigster fully lives up to its name, it's the boot. This thing is huge. In the 2-wheel drive mild hybrid, you get a massive 677 liters of space. That's enough to swallow suitcases, bikes, shopping sprees, even half your house probably. It comfortably outclasses rivals like the Nissan Qashqai, 504 liters, Kia Sportage, 591 liters, and Skoda Karoq, 521 liters. The only one that really beats it? The much bigger Skoda Kodiaq. But that's playing in a whole different league. Go for the 4-wheel drive version, and you still get a generous 629 liters, while the full hybrid offers 612 liters. Either way, you're working with serious room back there. The best part? Folding the seats is actually easy. No awkward fiddling. Just pull the handy catches in the boot, and they drop down in a 40-20-40 split. That's way more flexible than the usual 60-40 setup. So if you've got a long item to carry, like skis or planks of wood, you can slot it right through the middle while still carrying 2 people in the back. It's small touches like this that make everyday life simpler. Now, when it comes to reliability, Dacia's record is a bit of a mixed bag. In the 2024 Driver Power Survey, the brand came in 22nd out of 32. Not great, but here's the twist. The Duster was rated the most satisfying car to own in the UK. That's a big deal, and if the Bigster follows that same playbook, it could easily end up surprising a lot of people. But is it fun to drive? Safety and driving feel. Honestly, no, but that's not the point. The Bigster isn't trying to be sporty or thrilling, it's built for people who want a car that does the job without drama. It comes with all the safety gear you'd expect from a modern car thanks to the latest GSR2 rules. Lane keeping assist, blind spot warnings, speed limit buzzers, all the usual suspects. But here's where Dacia gets clever. There's a handy little My Safety button near the steering wheel that lets you program your preferred settings. And yes, you can switch the annoying stuff off with just a couple of taps. That kind of common sense. Love to see it. On the road, the Bigster drives exactly how you'd hope. The ride is comfortable. It corners with a safe, slightly soft lean, and nothing about it tries too hard. The engine does its thing quietly in the background. It's not exciting, but it's not trying to be, and that's actually a strength. This is a car for people who want practicality, not bragging rights. And when you look at the full picture, the Bigster absolutely nails what a big Dacia should be. It's tough looking, has a bit of style, and keeps things simple where it matters. You're getting SUV level space, decent tech, and solid safety. All for a price that wouldn't even buy some mid-range hatchbacks these days. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but it is smart, honest, and surprisingly well thought out. Think of it as a grown-up Duster with more space, more presence, and the same down-to-earth attitude. And that's honestly a win in today's overcomplicated car world. So, the Bigster gives you more space, more features, and still keeps things affordable. But does that make it the smartest SUV of the year, or just an oversized Duster with good PR? Comment down below, as you also leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more honest, car-filled content.